Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the District to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 8th day of April 2015 at the hour of 6 p.m. for the consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on April 2nd, 2015 at 1 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, and a copy has been furnished to the county clerk. This meeting is called to order. We do have a quorum. Let the record reflect that Mr. Whitey Thomas is not present and will not be present. Item 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3 is invitation to the audience for discussion. Pass on that. Item 4, consider and approve minutes for the regular meeting of March 25th, 2015. Get a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wells.
Second.
Second by Mr. Friedman. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 5, General Manager's Report. Mr. Golan.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I just wanted to bring up the November elections, which will be in 2016. In preparation for that, we need to go to training, and we're trying to plan ahead and get going. And doing all this, I had some calls on concerns on the May election, why we changed it to November. And it goes back to the resolution that the board approved, and it goes to say something to whereas the state of Texas legislature has implemented the Federal Military and Overseas Voters Empowerment, which is MOVE Act of 2009, by passing Senate Bill 100. And then it says, whereas Bill 100 mandates the primary runoff date, which is set for even number elections cycles to be moved to the 4th week of May in order to comply with the MOVE Act. And then on the resolution, it was also mentioned that it will be changed, its current date of May to November, effective 2012 elections. I believe I don't understand exactly why we moved it, but I believe because in the general election in November, we have more voters coming in, and maybe you guys can have say, Mr. Friedman?
Yes, sir. The goal was that all of the entities were going to push everything to November, so that all of the elections were in November. That correlated with federal and state elections, so that one, it increased the turnout, and two, it was a general election, so everyone was going to vote across the board for all of the elections that were being held at that time. Typically, municipal elections are held, or our municipal elections are held in May, and we have a lower turnout because they are held in May. Typically, everyone votes in the November elections, and it gets a higher turnout, and because people vote presidential or state or municipal or local, so it was to increase the turnout. However, not everyone followed by that. Not all the municipalities followed and went along with that. Everyone in the state of Texas is trying to get them all pushed to November elections across the board, and that's how that proposition and this board voted on that.
We've noticed too a better increase in turnout in November since we've had our elections in November. We get a much better turnout.
Saves money. It saves time. I mean, there's a continual list of things that it does for the community.
And as you say, in municipalities, that included the city of Port Isabel and South Padre, right? That
City, South Padre Island, school district.
Everybody was supposed to be moving.
Everyone was supposed to move.
Some people backed out of that.
And not everyone followed up.
And in finding that, in saying that, I'm sorry, I understand that the county, I made a phone call, and we can go back to May anytime if y'all decided to. The other thing was in also the election took place with the county. We paid the county a certain amount for that election, so they could take care of our election for the district. And I know that it was mentioned that, we'd like to go back to doing it in-house. If, you know, we'll come back to that later on and bring it up.
Yeah, why don't,
If you all think about it.
if you could check on what, you know, the training that the state offers for training our employees, if you can, maybe you can decide what you want to do, if 2 or 3 employees can go to the state and get trained to run elections the proper way. I would still like to see it go back to us running the elections instead of the county.
Carlos, when you come to county, if there would be switchback, if there could be switchback, did you mention anything about anybody else moving till November? Any other cities?
No, I didn't mention that. I was just questioning, see if we can, because we did pass a resolution to that effect, and see if we can, it doesn't mention anything on the resolution that you can't go back.
No, you can go back, we can change it, that's not a problem.
Yeah, and then, all they mentioned was that, we have to get our attorney involved in doing the paperwork for us, and we can get it back. But I didn't ask,
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to see, I mean, if anybody else is, you know, because, like you said, everybody was gonna try to do it in November. And
Yeah,
we're the only ones.
and
I don't know if the cities or.
The island did?
Have we contacted anybody
I don't
else?
think the island did.
The island did,
I don't
yeah.
know, I don't know the list of who did and who didn't. It's, everyone chili did, not everyone, but some of the municipalities chili dipped on it. And the goal was to be able to have, you know, veterans and mail-in ballots and everyone all tied into one voting cycle. That was the purpose.
well, we'll come back again and I'll report some more stuff, information, because I know that, you know, the cost of doing it in-house compared to what we paid the county last year. And, some more information, I'll bring it up on the next board meeting.
Okay. Mr. Ochoa, how are you, sir? Friendly judge?
I'd like to do a recommendation that it would be a lot better, nicer if we have the Laguna Madre together, the Laguna Madre election. And that way, I don't know if you all were working with the county, sending the ballot to the county and all that, and you did save a lot of money. But the issue is when there are 3, you know, election from the school, the city, and the water, a lot of people would get more excited. And I seen it when they're working for the general election, there's too much TV, you know, governor, president, senator, and rather than just go vote and they'll keep the water district election.
Well, we haven't seen that, Judge. We've seen a big increase in turnout is when we start having our elections in November, and I personally would like to see the city and the school district move to November. I think they would have a better turnout than in May.
They do, but sometimes I see voters say, well, I'll vote, but I don't know what to vote for. I don't know. And that's the only concern that, and that will be, your spend will be less, I know that. And second, everybody will get excited at the local election. That's a recommendation. You all consider what you think is right
Okay.
for the taxpayers.
Politics and football.
And that's
Is this
all I
South
have.
Texas?
That's all I have. All I have for right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Galvan. Any questions for the general manager? All right, let's move on to item number 6, Director of Operations report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Just want to report for the month of March. I did complete the water use survey for the Texas Water Development Board for 2014, and also the Tier 2 chemical reports for 2014. As far as the, I did get, earlier this afternoon, our IT personnel informed me that we did get the cameras already in, so they're going to start installing the cameras around, starting tomorrow. We're going to start doing that. And we are going to have 2 monitors, one at the water plant 2 where they're 24 hours, and the other monitor I'll have up here in my office up there.
You can also get them remote so you can see them on your phone, your iPad and stuff too, so in case
Yes,
there's something,
I know
alarm trips or something.
He's going to get the all the software that we need so we can be installed on my phone if we need it after hours. But the water plant 2 has 24 hours personnel, so that they should be taking care of that one. For the wastewater collection side, for the past 2 months, we haven't had any sewer backups or anything on our main lines anywhere, either South Padre Island, Torres Bell, or Laguna Vista. The guys have been working hard. They've been cleaning those lines monthly. During spring break, we didn't have any problems, any issues with any of our lines. In the meter department, it was kind of rainy during the month of March, but we did end up swapping out one 6-inch meter that belongs to Schlitterbahn. We swapped that one out, and we swapped out 6 5/8 meters that we had for the month. In the distribution side, we are flushing hydrants around the Port Isabel area, so we're getting those calls. In that main area down Railroad, we're headed to go out there weekly. That way, we can eliminate those calls. Charles has also been working on planning, so we can. It's going to be an in-house project that we're going to end up doing, and we're going to replace from between, I think it's Jefferson and Madison, all the way down Garcia, back down between Washington and Railroad, all that line right there. There's also, we do have some other upgrades that we're doing out here on Laguna Heights, Michigan 100, right in the corner. As soon as you pass the high school to the right, they are building some apartment complexes, so we are upgrading to a 6-inch line there. We have an upgrade, also an upgrade on East Kingfish. This one's been since about 2008. They bought a property. Something happened that they didn't complete the buyout process. So a new owner came in and he paid whatever the dues were left. So we got the green light to go ahead and install a 6-inch upgrade there. We also have one that we're going to be doing on Ebony and Mesquite, and that one's going to go hand in hand with the sewer line upgrades that we're doing, and we're going to take care of that water line and then the paving that's going to be done on that street, that we can get that one out of the way. And then what was the other one? No, yeah, that was it on the distribution side. Everything else is working good out there. I mean, haven't had any complaints from anybody, so everything's good.
Questions, comments? No? Thank you, Victor. Let's move to item number 7, District Engineers Report. Mr. Ortiz?
All right. Yeah, my first item on here is the Port Isabel water distribution system, and it's pretty consistent with the discussion Victor brought up as far as, the south side of Highway 100 around Garcia Street, in that alley behind 100 going down towards Ternava. And basically, I went back and took a look at the hydraulic model just to see what they found, and they actually did a fire flow test there on the south end of Garcia Street, and they saw in their fire flow test they saw a drop from 46 psi down to 25 psi, when according to the model they should have only seen a pressure drop of about 4 psi. So there was a big discrepancy on theoretically what the line should be doing versus what they actually field tested on the fire hydrants. And then on top of that, we're finding out that Garcia Street is still a cast iron line, which is something that needs to be replaced regardless because the age is probably something's restricting the flow in that area. And so that'll be part of the in-house work where we'll look at replacing Garcia Street, and then on Ternava in that same alley is actually a dead end, so we can loop it there and maybe look at connecting to the 16-inch main that runs to the causeway just to help improve circulation a little bit. And so we'll be taking a look at that area in the distribution system. And so that's basically the update for the water distribution side. I guess the next item was Isla Blanca wastewater treatment plant rehabilitation. And just to give you an update, the material for the gates and the clarifiers, that's already arrived, and we're storing it here at Water Plant 1. And as far as the plans that our electrical engineer is putting together for the blowers, he's sent us a draft for review, and so we need to look at them and review and get comments back to him, and also give him the horsepower for the turbo compressors. And so that's basically where we're sitting as far as all the rehab work that we're looking at at Isablanca.
Good.
So I don't know if there's any other questions, but that's basically where we're at on it. And I guess the third item here is wind turbine generators. And as you're aware, in Laguna Vista, that 10 kilowatt wind turbines not working right now, and we're still trying to get it fixed. And the latest condition is that they need to order new blades and a hub. And the completion contractor, sort of his theory of what would have fixed it on where he's done installations on other sites, there's still problems in those other sites. So that's why he hasn't proceeded at this location. And so we still got to figure out how we're going to get that to working order. And one of the things, we've also received some proposals from First Power Energy. And basically, the proposals we reviewed is a 25 kilowatt, KW wind turbine there at Laguna Vista, which is essentially a replacement to the existing one that's out there.
At the wastewater plant?
Yeah, the wastewater plant. And then also, we had reviewed some proposals for a 100 kW turbine at the Port Isabel sewer plant, and then a second 100 kW turbine at water plant 2. And those were reviewed because for our feasibility study that we just submitted to Reclamation, they want to see some renewable energy or some energy efficiency components to our master plan. And so we were able to review those proposals and include that in our report that we submitted over to Reclamation. And so now we're at that point to where we want to possibly consider a workshop if you're interested in hearing more information about these wind turbines, and just to get into more detail at this stage if you choose to look at those further. I mean, there definitely has to be some kind of subsidy to really make it worth the effort. But I mean, basically that's kind of where we're sitting right now. And getting back to Laguna Vista, being that we have a performance problem, I mean, I don't know if we need to already start, making a notice or a claim to the performance bond, or what we need to do to resolve that issue, to see if...
You mean as far as the wind turbine goes, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing hasn't run proper to begin with, and
Right.
I think we probably need to go ahead and do something like that. I would.
I'd like to learn more about it.
I was talking about going after maybe the contractor that put in the wind turbine there at the wastewater plant. Yeah,
Right.
we need to take some action on that.
Oh, it's been like, it probably only worked for a week, and basically all the electrical components burned out when it overheated right off the bat.
It's
And
been there 2 years, right?
it was completed, January, let me see. The final, the contract was awarded August 2012, and the final attempt where we ended up doing the final payment was done, let me see.
Really forgot about
It's basically
it.
January
I waited 2
2013,
years
more or less.
later.
I think, let me verify, make sure I'm off by...
Been there over a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we spent money on that, we need to get reimbursed.
We may have to get new legal counsel to
Yeah,
assist us on that
I would
one.
think that'd be appropriate,
Yeah, it was January of 2014 would have been the last where we ended up releasing retainage because we were trying to mess around with it, and there was a promise of it eventually getting fixed, and that still hasn't happened. And
Well,
so,
it didn't really run that long, right?
no, it only ran for a week. So
A
basically, in the punch list items, basically these problems
Mr.
weren't.
Savoy, yours will run longer
Yeah.
than a week, man.
Right.
Sure, yeah, I've done my research.
Okay.
Right, and the only issue with proceeding on that,
week.
like, basically it's a default issue where I need to figure out if we need to go through the bonding company to hire a completion contractor, or how we need to resolve the Laguna Vista condition that we have.
That'll all be included on the P&A or...
Well, yeah, because typically, like when I've had defaults in the past, what we've had to do is we call in the bonding company, and they hire the completion contractor and check their quality and performance and ability to complete the job. And so we still need to initiate that claim, and that's kind of where we need to get legal involved to figure out how we can handle that.
When was the project actually completed and delivered to us?
Well, yeah, that's what the final was January 27th, 2014. That's when we released retainage.
Charles, we got a grant for...
Yeah, the actual line item that we're talking about was 65,000, and it was 50% was reimbursed by Reclamation.
Who was the contractor?
It was Baltimore Machine Shop.
So we really have
Center-
lost
Center
a
Brown?
lot on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Every little bit helps.
I know. Okay.
Get with legal on that and go
Alright.
from there.
But there are subsidies that you can go after.
Well, that's where we probably have to get into the workshop to get into those details.
There are subsidies for municipalities.
Yeah.
That's where that might really pay
Well,
off.
maybe-
We get some big subsidies out of it.
Well, let's schedule a workshop then for you wanna do it for the next meeting? Before the next meeting, 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock on the 22nd, okay?
Is that all right with y'all?
When?
The next meeting?
April
Oh, okay,
22nd.
yeah.
We'll do it at 5, have a workshop at 5 and
Fine.
see what
Fine.
happens.
Okay.
Good? Is that all right, Charles? You'll be ready by then?
Yeah, I guess I can, would Phil be able to make it, or?
Workshop.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Wednesday, 22nd? 22nd.
Anything else we need on that agenda for that workshop, let's get that on there too, because the workshop won't take an hour.
What was that again?
If
I'm
there's
sorry.
something else we can get
If
on
there's
there.
something else we can get on the agenda for the workshop,
Think about
it
it.
won't take
Yes,
an hour.
we do have,
Yeah, it'll be
Nice
5
stuff.
o'clock.
All right.
we'll bring it.
Well, don't load it up too much, so we're only gonna have an hour at it. All right. Anything else for the district engineer? Charles, anything else?
No, that completes my report.
Anything for Charles? All right, let's move on to item 8, Finance Director's Report. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. A cashier check will be provided for the Unlimited Tax Funds Series 2005, and we're planning on sending this check for $558,000 on April 10th, so that way we can comply with the information provided by Estadio Hinojosa on the meeting for February 11th. And there's gonna be a cost issuance expense, which is gonna be the expense, for Estadio Hinojosa's services for $6,500. And on the Water and Sewer Revenue Bond Series 2015, there's gonna be a refunding option, and we did a payment for $117,701 on March 31st. There's also a closing of the 2007 construction note on IBC. And what happened there is that we have a 1 cent pretty much on the account, so we're gonna get rid of that because we don't have any more projects, getting into that account. So, instead of leaving that cent in there, we're just gonna get rid of that account. And the other item that I have is on the TCVRS, for the retirement system. We got an invitation for a conference on July 20 through the 22nd. And I would like to know who will be interested in attending from the board. Basically, they will provide us with information on legislature and GASB reporting, financial reporting, and managerial reporting. So I don't know if you all be interested in attending.
I don't think anyone here.
How about the finance director?
I mean,
Yeah.
nobody from the board, but staff needs to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever-
No, they are going.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, you guys are going.
As far as the
Yeah,
board,
we
I
need
don't
to
know.
go
Yeah.
because it has to do with the financial reporting at the end of the year.
I have a question going back up to the Unlimited Tax Bond Series 2005 that we're paying off, the tax bonds that we're paying off. This was before you got here, we approved it. I just wanted to double check with you that we did have an overage in the interest and sinking account, and so we're not hurting anything there,
No,
right?
no,
We do have the money and it's there.
That
and-
was the reason, that it went in.
Okay,
And,
just double
we're
checking.
fine. Yes.
Alright.
Mhm.
Okay.
And, that's it.
Any questions? All right, move on to item number 9, consider and approve purchase of 36-inch static mixer for water plant number 2, Clearwell. Will we get a motion in a second, please? Motion by Mr. Cantu,
Second.
second by Mr. Wells. Questions, comments? Charles, anything?
No, it's just to do our permanent connection for the LAS before the Clearwell.
Shouldn't this have been something on the original bid, or is this something that we've just come up with that we need?
It came up as a change because typically at the end of the job is when the project's already 90% complete construction, you submit your contact time study for TCEQ review. And so the first study we did had 2 disinfection zones, but we didn't anticipate the THM issue creeping up as bad as it did.
Right.
And so through our pilot study in the chlorine dioxide, we realized in addition to chlorine dioxide, we still need a change to 4 disinfection zones. So this just came up within the past couple of months.
Because I was a little confused on this, so this automatically mixes something that we're doing by hand now?
Well, right now we have a temporary tap. Like there was always a spigot there, like
Right.
a hose bib. And so what we're doing right now is that hose bib, we tied in the LAS on a temporary condition, but that really should be our sampling point. So once we have this permanent setup, well, that hose bib will become just simply our sampling point before going to the next zone, and then we'll be injecting the LAS, and it'll have a better mix by putting it through that static mixer.
So this should eliminate all these notices and all this kind of thing.
Yes,
That's
and
the
we
whole
actually,
idea.
yeah, we already got our first results for the THMs with the clear well converted back to chloramines, and in the distribution system, the ranges are anywhere from 13 micrograms to 72 micrograms. So every site is below 80 at this point. And so we're getting the free chlorine under better control, and already took additional samples, I think, before Easter. So we should be getting those results at the end of the month. So we are going to have to do another public notice here, like in the next couple of weeks. But the way we're going to handle it is we'll have to put that standard health risk, public concern language. But at the same time, we're also going to give our additional results that show that these recent tests that were collected March 30th are in compliance.
So, I mean, it's been work in progress since that plan's been
Yeah.
operating. Y'all are finally, dialed it in, it looks like. To me, it's really good.
And this static mixture that we plan to purchase will assist in mixing better, faster than what is existing now.
I don't think anybody's in there mixing by hand, right?
No, no.
I'm just trying to figure out. I called Whitey today, I said, what does this thing do?
It's actually a pipe
Trying
that
to figure it
zigzag,
out.
the water goes up and down and
Okay.
faster.
All right, so we have any other further questions, comments? We have a motion by Mr. Cantu, a second by Mr. Wells. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 10, consider and approve Hanson 36-inch concrete pressure pipe cut-in for new chemical feed point at water plant number 2 Clearwell. We have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman, and second by Mr. Wells. Comments? Questions?
Yeah, this is basically the same location. It's the existing butterfly valve is a mechanical joint, and for the static mixer we have to do a flange to flange, and so that's what this piping work is for.
Okay. Very good. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 11, consider and approve the investment report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2015. We have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman,
Second.
second by Mr. Wells. Questions, comments? Everything okay with our investments, ma'am? All right. All right, no further questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 12, consider and approve disbursements. Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wells,
Second.
second by Mr. Friedman. Any questions or comments on any of the disbursements?
I didn't see anything weird.
I didn't either. Looks good?
No, good.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 13, executive session permitted by the Open Meeting Act, Government Code Section 551.001 under Section 551.074, authorizing certain deliberations about officers and employees of the district to be held in executive session. To deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of district employees, to wit, Director of Finance. I need a motion to go into executive session at 6:30.
A motion.
Motion by Mr. Friedman,
Second.
second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are now in executive session.
Come out of executive session at 6:49 p.m. I make a motion. Motion by Mr. Freeman, second by Mr. Cantu. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Motion carries. Item 14, consideration and action on any executive session item if necessary. There's no action to be taken. Item 15, meeting adjourned.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.